And it looked like Kennedy Carter has finally broken her silence about this Caitlin Clark situation. Kennedy Carter just jumped out the window and justified an assault on Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA season is just weeks away, and nearly every major free agent has signed with a team, except for one, Kennedy Carter. She's the same player who made headlines last June for a highly talked about on-court moment involving Caitlin Clark.
Can you break down that situation that happened?
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack, or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, you know, that's a part of basketball.
Caitlin Clark gears up for her second WNBA season with rising popularity. Kennedy Carter finds herself defending her actions on various streaming platforms. She insists the incident was nothing more than a routine basketball play, a minor tap. But WNBA teams don't seem convinced. Is this simply the consequence of her actions? Or is Carter being singled out as a warning to others about how the league's newest star should be treated? Let's take a closer look.
So we know Kennedy Carter has always been kind of up against the fence when speaking about this Caitlin Clark situation. We remember when she first got asked about this during a press conference, she stated that she wasn't going to speak on Caitlin Clark. Now we know months later she still hasn't spoken on the whole situation. That is until today. Yes, Kennedy Carter finally broken her silence about the Caitlin Clark hip check.
Remember that moment from last June when Kennedy Carter made contact with Caitlin Clark in a play that sparked widespread attention? What should have been a routine regular season game between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever ended up becoming a defining moment in Carter's career.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Break down the sequence step by step. After scoring, Kennedy Carter made an abrupt move across the court, not to return to defense, but seemingly with a different intent. Her path had no clear basketball purpose. The replay captures Carter saying something under her breath, locking eyes with Caitlin Clark, and then delivering a forceful shoulder that knocked the rookie to the floor. To viewers, the intentional nature of the contact was difficult to ignore.
So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, you know, the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue, and it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy.
What stands out most is how the officials initially ruled it. A common foul, a standard call that occurs frequently throughout any game. However, upon reviewing the footage, they quickly reclassified it as a flagrant foul. The replays told a different story. This wasn't accidental contact during live play. It was an intentional off-ball hit delivered after the scoring action had concluded.
It's one thing pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding it. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest.
Caitlin Clark's response spoke volumes about her composure and professionalism. Despite being caught off guard and knocked to the floor, she got up calmly, without protest, and refocused on the game. No theatrics, no retaliation, just a player staying locked in. In contrast, commentators and fans reacted strongly, voicing their outrage. To many, it was clear that what they had witnessed went beyond the boundaries of competitive play. It appeared to be a calculated attempt to intimidate or physically unsettle an opponent.
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
The incident with Clark wasn't Kennedy Carter's first brush with on-court controversy. Her history of emotional outbursts quickly resurfaced as a topic of discussion in the aftermath. Back in 2021, during her time with the Atlanta Dream, Carter was suspended indefinitely due to what the team described as conduct detrimental to the team, following an intense altercation that crossed the line. This wasn't an isolated moment. It was part of a pattern that had already raised serious concerns about her professionalism and ability to mesh within a team environment.
The Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles.
The timing couldn't have been more unfortunate for Carter. The WNBA is in the midst of historic growth, breaking records in viewership and attendance, much of it fueled by Caitlin Clark's arrival. As the league gains mainstream recognition, there's a heightened focus on professionalism and image. In this climate, Carter's actions stood in sharp contrast to the direction the league is striving for, casting a shadow just as the WNBA is reaching new heights.
What's crazy about all of this, immediately after that push, this is what she said to the media.
Play before bumping in with Caitlin. It seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After the few
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
Didn't say anything.
Carter would later try to downplay the incident, but for many, the footage spoke louder than any explanation. This wasn't just a routine foul or a fleeting lapse in judgment. It became a pivotal moment that reshaped her career. Once viewed as a rising talent, she's now seen by many teams as a liability. As she finally breaks her silence, the conversation continues. Basketball is a physical, high-stakes game, but there's a clear line between competitive intensity and reckless aggression. Carter's actions didn't just cross that line, they shattered it. And the league's unified response made one thing clear: protecting its players and preserving its image is non-negotiable.
Kennedy Carter wasn't going to make a WNBA roster. And as it sits, April 20th, training camps start for teams in 7 days. Training camp for a majority of the WNBA start April the 27th. Kennedy Carter is not on any WNBA roster. Want to know why? Because it's Kennedy Carter's fault she's not on any WNBA roster.
The boundaries Carter crossed have left her career in jeopardy, and now she's scrambling to reshape her narrative before it's too late. Just days ago, with training camp approaching and no contract in sight, she sat down for an interview with streamer Neon, a conversation that has basketball fans everywhere shaking their heads in disbelief.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said, and then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court, then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, I don't think it was, what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like, I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't stop him.